in the past on these episodes, these podcast episodes, I've always said I hate horror movies, hate horror movies, hate horror movies. Even though I did see Until Dawn, but for some reason, the Final Destination series works for me, and it's very weird because to give you guys a plot synopsis of what Final Destination basically is, it's a movie franchise about people dying in the scariest ways you can possibly think of. A lot of times you don't even like they'll make you think that's how they're going to die, but then it just goes to a whole different direction. And when I mean nobody is safe in this movie franchise, nobody is safe. Now, one thing I want to say real quick is the reason why I think this movie works for me is because there's a lot of times you watch horror movies and there's characters you either like or dislike, and the ones you really, really dislike or hate sometimes survive. In this franchise, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. And
Death
also
waits for no one.
yeah. But I just love how this movie follows its rules and also makes new ones that go straight through with it. And it's very detailed too. Like the deaths may be silly, but they're very detailed deaths. Like these movies make sure to like find every detail possible and make sure that it kills the character if it's their time the exact way it's gonna happen or in a crazier way. Like it's so impressive. Like Final Destination 1, I love that movie, and it sets up it sets the stone at first, or sets a bar for the franchise for the rest of the time until you get to like 3 or 5. Like 2, I mean, it gives you some new rules, but it was very cheesy and kind of stupid, but the deaths were still really good. 3, same process. The deaths were pretty crazy, but the acting was a little better, but still a little silly. 4, just ultimately stupid. Like it was probably the worst one in it. 5 does one of the coolest like movie we were talking about before. One of the coolest movie. It ties in everything, and then it wraps it up in a bow with 6. Bloodlines gave us so many answers that we've been wondering for the longest time. Why is death going after so many people? And it's because of these bloodlines. And it was so cool to see. It was so cool for them to map it out and tying all the movies together. Because apparently the reason why Death was going after people is because...
Spoilers for Final Destination Bloodlines.
Spoilers for Final Destination Bloodlines. Sorry, I forget that sometimes. But apparently we realized that Death was going after these people through all these different movies because they were connected through different family bloodlines based off of one event that happened in the 60s.
People that cheated death, right?
Like those people that cheated death. So that's how these movies always go. Somebody has a vision of all these deaths happening. Premonitions, and then they stop it from happening. And it all was connected to the number 180, I guess. Or Denver's, the singer, if his music plays, that means something's bad's gonna happen. But I love this series because there's no plot armor. It's not safe. Nobody's ever safe. Mm-hmm. I love that they stay true to that rule. And even if a character does survive, they get them. Like nobody is ever safe. And I love that. Like you can go into this movie or any movie that you see, whether you've already started it, like, or whether you want to start it, nobody is ever safe. I just love that because that's one of my biggest complaints when it comes to movies sometimes, when people survive for way too long and then like they should have died, but then, for some reason the killer misses a whole 20 million times. In this movie, that can't happen. Like it literally cannot happen. Like there is an order they have to figure out so that they can either stop it or cheat death. And then when they figured out that order and try to delay it, I'm going to say delay because you can't really stop it. It's just cool how they figure it out, and it's very detailed, and I just love that. Like Bloodlines, this had some of the craziest deaths I've seen in the series. This had way better acting than the rest of the movies because that was a huge complaint. Like for the rest of the series,
yeah.
I think
product of its time for sure. I feel like a lot of horror movies back in the day, like you don't get.
Yeah,
probably even still, you don't get great acting. But
that is true. But this one did a very good job. Like it connected family drama to it that I thought was really good. It connected different movies in the past. It connected brother and sisterly love. I just love how they actually gave us a story that we can focus on. Because in the other movies, it was like, oh, we got these horned up teens, and they're either going to an amusement park or on a field trip or something.
That's a product of its time. That's wholeheartedly a product of its time, yeah.
Yeah, so they would just go off that, and then there'd always be like the order that you see, and then they die, and then you're trying to figure out who dies next or who is going to die and how. Because they give you hints, but then something else happens, and it's crazy. But this movie did a good job of making it mainly about family, keeping it to like that seriousness of like, whoa, you got to be careful where you step or like where you walk, this and that. And I just love that this is a franchise that prides itself on that. Like, it prides itself on making you scared of literally anything. Like, I could be looking at this or this, and like somebody who may be at a premonition would be like, don't go too close to that gold chain or something. Don't go too close to that Stephen Curry doll, because maybe that would kill me. Maybe. I rebuke. I hope that doesn't happen, but, you know, I just love that this movie takes it so seriously, and it doesn't do the plot hole stuff or plot armor stuff. Nobody is safe. I love that. But with this movie, I want to give this one a 7 out of 10.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. I really loved how they tied everything together. And I really loved that they actually tried their hardest to give us a story while also giving us the most creative deaths like they've done in this series.
So you think with the entire franchise, right? A lot of the franchise, like the entire franchise is very campy. It's very cheesy.
Yeah.
It's very much like, ooh, another 80 or what, 90s? 90s, right? It's like the...
I'm going to say 2000s.
It's late 90s, but yeah, 2000s would make more sense. It's late 90s, early 2000s. Like very late 90s, early 2000s, like people are dying and look at us like attractive characters all doing stuff, whatever. And then just like death. And would you say Bloodlines does a great job of like taking that concept and elevating it, but doesn't lose sight of like what makes it like good? Like, it's still a little funny, it's still silly, but it's like, I'm more interested in this than just like me watching a bunch of teenagers getting murdered.
No, 1000%.
That's awesome.
I think the difference with this one was there was one character I hated, and it was at the beginning of the movie, compared to like the other movies where I just hated everybody. Like Final Destination,
that's good.
Or The Final Destination, I hated that movie. That was probably the worst one of the series.
That's the fourth one?
Yeah, I hated that one. That was the worst one in the series, in my opinion. It was so stupid, so overly drawn. Like, the deaths were still very creative, but very, very stupid.
Yeah.
And then Final Destination 2 is definitely another terrible one. Just the premise, because every premonition person is supposed to be like on point. They're supposed to be like, oh yeah, you're this, you're that. She did a horrible job telling everybody how they're going to die. Funny. She did a horrible job. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there.
The Until Dawn game has a mechanic like that.
Yeah.
You get premonitions, you go think, yeah. But yeah, that's awesome. Good for them. I don't think anyone would have expected this movie to be as good as it is.
I didn't expect it.
Yeah, I think everyone was like, yeah, I wasn't even planning on it either. I was just, honestly, actually, no. I was pretty interested in it, but I'm just not a big horror guy.
Yeah.
So I was like, I probably won't. I think lately I've been more interested in horror. I've been like giving it a try with like Sinners and stuff like that. Like, I've been more willing to go to the theater and watch a horror movie.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to watch it next week or this coming week. I think I'm going to go. But who knows? We'll see. Anything else you want to add?
Once again, just support movies in theaters. But if you love horror movies that are gory and kill people in scary ways, this is literally the definition of that. This is the movie for all of that. Yeah. I don't know how the heck I can't watch it, but I think I'm just.
Is this the most paranoid a horror movie could make you? Because it doesn't like take like a supernatural or like a monster. It's like real. It's like a real things that like could just get you at any moment. Like that penny right there could kill you at any point.
Bro, that penny scared the crap out of me. I don't care what anybody says. That penny scared me.
I love the clips where it's like, or like TikToks where it's like Final Destination kills be like, and it's just someone like things falling over a bunch.
That's literally how it goes, though.
It's so funny.
That's literally how these movies
I think I'd start laughing if I was watching it in the theater. I think I'd laugh actually a lot watching that movie.
We were laughing in the theater.
Or just go, oh! That like one of those, you know?
There was one death that was so gruesome in that movie. All of us like literally we were just sitting watching everything, and then right when a certain thing was about to happen, like it was slowly happening, all of us in the theater just went, "Ooh!" We picked up our legs and just went.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
It was
that's awesome.
But it's very creative, and I highly recommend it if you love horror movies and very gory scenes.